Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my final video of the year. That's crazy, honestly. So I thought the perfect video to do on this almost the last day of the year could be to do a little bit of organizing in my library, getting things ready and set for the new year. So today I thought it would be fun to do some organizing of my shelves, both physically and digitally, with the sponsor of today's video, who is Notion. I'm so excited about this because I have been using Notion for truly as long as I can remember. So I'm really excited to give you guys a tour and show you guys how I organize my books, as well as my life and my goals. So I will be taking you through my Notion in a little bit, but first I would like to do some physical organizing of my bookshelves. They're not in too much of a state right now, but I do have some books that I need to put back on there. I also would like to do a little bit of an unhaul because I love an unhaul for the new year. I am hopefully moving in 2026, so I would really like to take some of the books that I don't absolutely need off of my shelves and find better homes for them. I have never moved my entire book collection before. I've taken books like back and forth to school with me and stuff like that, but I never took like the whole thing with me. And honestly, that really intimidates me. The thought of packing up like 250, 300 books sounds very daunting, and I don't want to do it for books that I don't absolutely love. So we're going to be taking a look at the books. We're going to be unhauling some books. I do have a couple of ideas of things that I think I can finally part with, so I will show you guys that after we do a little bit of organizing, and then we'll get on into the rest of the video. So I really hope you guys are excited. I'm very excited about this. I don't think I've ever really done a video like this. I'm kind of like pushing a bunch of things together, but I think it'll be really fun to do it today. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get on into it with some bookshelf reorganization. Also, if you guys are wondering, I am going to be listening to an audiobook while I do this. I don't know where my phone is. Found it. The audiobook that I'm going to be listening to is Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. I'm currently like exactly 50% of the way through this book, I think. So I'd like to listen to this while I organize my books because it is a couple of days before Christmas. So I'm gonna get to work on that, and then we will reconvene in a moment. We have the unhaul pile. Some of these, I feel like I've been meaning to get rid of for a while. Some of these, I even surprised myself. So let me just go through my stack. I also do need some opinions on some of these. Some of these I'm not 100% sure on, so you'll have to let me know. Anyway, let's talk about it. The first one is a little bit sad because I am very sad that I didn't like this more than I did. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And that is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. As I'm sure we all know, I absolutely love The X Hex. It is one of my favorite books ever. Favorite fall reread always such a good time. This is the second book that is in that series, and I just really don't care about this book in the slightest, honestly. It was fine when I read it. I think I had a decent time, but do I ever think about rereading it? No. The next book is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I'm sure, as you all know, I do very much enjoy a V.E. Schwab book. She was one of my favorite authors for a long time. I don't think any of her recent stuff has wowed me enough to keep her on that list, but all of her backlist, so good. Like The Shades of Magic, Vicious, Our Dark Duet, like those, or The Monsters of Verity, that's what that duology is called. Love those all so much. Would love to give them all a reread. They're all just excellent, and I think very fondly back on my time reading those. But Gallant was just okay. I enjoyed Gallant probably a lot more than a lot of other people did, but I just don't really feel the need to hold on to it. However, the thing that I will hold on to is the sticker that I got when I bought the US copy of it. This is the Illumicrate copy of it. Which is very pretty. I like the sprayed edges on it, it's very cool. But I just would never reread this, so I think I'm gonna let that go, but I will do something with this sticker because I do really like the sticker. Then next up, I have another book that I just like would never reread, and that is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. I really enjoyed The Stolen Heir, actually. Again, a lot more than I think a lot of other people did. I really enjoyed Oaken Surin's story. I loved the like traveling nature of this book. I love a book with a lot of traveling in it, so like this one worked very well for me. But I just don't think I would ever prioritize rereading this book. I would absolutely reread the original trilogy as well as How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. God tier books. Obviously will never leave the shelves. But this one, I already reread books so seldomly. I just don't think I would ever get around to rereading this, and I just don't feel the need to hold on to it. Moving on, I do have two books, one of which I've read, one of which I have not read, that I need thoughts and feelings on, because I'm thinking I'm gonna unhaul the second and third books in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series. Now, I know I've put this on many a TBR, I keep saying that I'm gonna complete the trilogy, but I simply cannot get myself to pick up the final book, and I just don't know if I care enough to finish out the series. It is a very long book. It's like 600 pages, and I just don't know if I remember enough of the second book to even be able to jump into this one, and I just don't think I want to dedicate the time to it, which makes me sad because I really wanted to like Laini Taylor's other series, but I just really don't. Like, the second one was fine. There were some interesting elements to it, obviously, but I just never really felt invested in it. So I just don't think I'm ever going to read this book. And these are like very hefty hardbacks to be carrying around with me when I don't actually think I want to complete the series. So I think I just need to give up on it. I don't think it's happening. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Should I push through? Should I just get rid of them? For those of you who have finished the series, let me know. Please do. I am going to hold on to the first book, mainly because it's a signed and numbered copy, so I don't want to get rid of that because I like having a signed copy of any book by Laini Taylor, so that's very cool. But these two, I just don't think I'm ever gonna, like, it's just not a series that means anything to me, and I just want to keep series on my shelves that mean things to me, so I think for my own sanity it has to go. Next up is a book that I truly only was hanging on to because it fits a certain space in my shelf really well. I have like this YA historical shelf that has like The Last Hours, The Infernal Devices, and the Stalking Jack the Ripper series on it. And this just fit that last little chunk of space that was left on that shelf so perfectly. But like, I truly feel nothing towards this book aside from the fact that it has like stunning fall imagery. And I'm like, would I ever reread a book just because it has stunning fall imagery? No. So I think I need to get rid of An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I would recommend this for fall. Like, if you've never read it before, I would recommend it for fall because, as I've said like 4 times now, stunning fall imagery. But, you know, like, the story itself is just fine. Writing's stunning, but like, I would never reread it, so I think I need to let her go. Then next up I have a book that, you know, I enjoyed when I read it, but like, I don't think I have the mental capacity to ever give it a reread, nor do I have like a super big interest in giving it a reread, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang, or Babel. I know a lot of people say Babel. I think Babel sounds better, and that's my professional opinion. I think there are like 2 different pronunciations of it, like depending on where you live, but I like Babel. Is that what I've been saying? Babel? Now I can't remember which one I say. I've lost it. But yeah, I just don't think I would ever reread Babel. I love this cover so much. This is my favorite cover of Babel. The US cover of Babel sucks, honestly. Especially when compared to this one, like the silver, especially like in the context of the story with the silver. She's beautiful. But yeah, I just don't really think I would reread Babel. So I'm gonna pass it on to somebody else so they can read it. But I do love this paperback. Wait, should I keep Babel? Guys, I might keep Babel. Like, the cover design of this one is so beautiful. I saw the cover, or I saw the spine again, and if there's one thing that convinces me more than a book cover to keep a book, it is a book spine, because like the book spine is what you always see on the shelf. So I'm always more concerned about what the book spine looks like, really, than the book cover. So this is a terrible reason to keep the book, but like, I might keep it anyway. Because, you know, I liked Babel when I read it. I think I gave it a pretty high rating. I'm gonna keep it, guys. Like, I gotta keep it. 3 books left. One of these is a recent read, and it is a read that needs to leave my shelves immediately, actually. And that is Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. The more I think about this book, the more irritated I am by how this book ended. So she needs to vacate the premises. She is being evicted. I'm tired of her. However, will I be reading the next one in the series? Yep. Don't ask me why, but yep. But Good Spirits did not leave me with good spirits, I must say. And then the last 2 books are books that I've probably been meaning to get rid of for a while. I just haven't done it yet. And those are the 2nd and 3rd books in the, what is this series called? Dark Artifices series, yeah? By Cassandra Clare. I would get rid of, what's the first one called? I cannot remember what the first book in the series is called. But I believe I'm currently using that book as a stand-in for one of my dust jackets for either like Chain of Gold or Chain of Iron, I think. I don't actually have that many copies of Chain of Gold or Chain of Iron because one of them is on whatever the first book in this series is called, because I wanted to see all of my beautiful dust jackets. So I will be holding on to that one for that reason. And that reason alone. But these 2, literally would never reread them. I got rid of the Mortal Instruments a long time ago. I think it's time to get rid of these. These are also hefty books. Like, this book is like 800 pages. So, oh my gosh, it's almost 900 pages. I will be adding these to the countless amount of copies of this series that are available at my local half-price books. So, yeah, those are all of the books that I wanted to unhaul off of my shelf. Considering my goal was to reduce like the weight of books that I need to move, I think this stack did a good job. I only got rid of 10 books, but like 4 of these are super chunky and very, very heavy. So I feel like this is good. This is good. I will take these to half price, get them out of my sight. They're not that bad. I just need to trim things down. I just love looking at my shelves after I do an unhaul. So I feel like every single book I'm like, yeah. Love them. Anyway, it's now time to jump into talking about my Notion, which I'm so excited about. So I will see you over at my desk. It's never on the first try. So now that I've finished reorganizing my bookshelves, doing my unhaul, it is finally time to get into the good stuff and take a look at my Notion. As I said earlier, I love Notion. It is a super customizable platform that you can do basically anything with. I like to use it for very functional things like organizing my weeks using checklists, putting all of my owned books in a library database so I can very quickly sort through them. And I have an entire page with a calendar on it where I can put all of my YouTube, Patreon, and school related things so I can keep track of them. But I also like to use Notion for some more just like fun aesthetic things, honestly, so I will show you those a little bit later. But all that is to say, it is very versatile and I like to use it for things that are not just planning related. But my favorite thing about Notion is how aesthetically accommodating I would say it is. I love making all of my pages look very cute regardless of what the functionality of that page is, so I use a bunch of different GIFs, I add quotes, I add different background photos. My aim is always just to make it a page that I want to come back and use and keep up with, and Notion definitely makes that very easy. And I know starting a Notion can be super overwhelming at first. I know when I first started mine with just like blank pages, I was like, literally, where do I go from here? But they do have countless templates available to help get you started. Truly anything you may want to make a page for, there's probably a template for it that you can just work from. So now that you guys know a little bit more about Notion, let's jump in to talking about mine. I'm going to be updating a couple of pages. I'll be showing you a couple of fun things that I have on mine and just doing a general tour. So let's turn around here and take a look. All right, so welcome to my Notion. This is my home base page where I put like my goals for the year. I also have my daily to-do list over here. And then just for fun, I like to put my favorite quotes from books that I have read. I have quite the running list of these quotes, and I actually do have one that I want to add because I read a quote out in my top books of the year list, which I did just look up so I could paste it. This is a quote that I'd highlighted in Anne of Avonlea, and it is one of my favorite quotes from the Anne series, so obviously it needs to go on my page. Not all of these quotes need to be super like profound. As you can see, the one above this is so stupid from Shadows of Self, but it makes me laugh every single time, so I had to add it on to this page. Also, I do like to keep everything in lowercase. That is just my preferred aesthetic for my Notion, so don't mind that. But yeah, I have like all of my 2025 goals over here. Have I done them well? Not really. They're very random goals too, so like, I don't know if those are happening. I have not decided on what my 2026 goals are going to be yet, but that's a first day of 2026 kind of plan for me personally. But I do really like keeping track of like all of my daily to-do lists and kind of like this running format that I have going on here, especially over the last couple of weeks in December. It has just been crazy busy for me. So being able to like have these things in a list that I can see very easily on the front page of my Notion has been so nice. I like to keep my home base page very, very simple but functional. I do have it decorated a little bit, so I have like this cute header up here that I think I found on Pinterest. I have this gif of some soot sprites that I like to use for the little icon on this page. I like to find gifs to use for the icons on the page because they move around and it's fun. And then of course I have another little gif. A lot of the gifs that I have on my Notion pages are from Ghibli movies because they are also just very aesthetically pleasing. So I love having Gigi over here looking at the clock. Honestly, kind of perfect to have Gigi under my 2025 goals, like my yearly goals, looking at the clock. Thematically is very strong, so we'll pretend I did that on purpose. Then a couple of other pages. I have my page, which is literally just called YouTube stuff, but I also do put some school stuff on here as well. This is where I just keep track of like what days I'm posting certain videos. I have, you know, like things mentioned. Oh, I forgot to do these. Whoops, those did not make it in my top books of the year list. Oopsie. You know, sometimes I remember to check it, sometimes I don't. But I also keep track of like what days I'm gonna film things, and it just really helps me stay on track. It's very handy. Then I have a couple spreads I haven't used in a while. I have like this very random fall mood board, which is literally just a bunch of fall photos that I found on Pinterest. And I decided to essentially just make my own Pinterest board on Notion. For what reason? There really isn't one. I just was bored one day and I wanted to make one. And this was very fun to put together. I also have a great quote from The October Country by Ray Bradbury and just like some nice fall decor on the page. I also have my Ode to the Infernal Devices, but these are all of the literary references that are in the Infernal Devices, and I want to read them. Then moving on to the star of the show, aka my favorite Notion page that I've made, is my library page. It is called The Great Library, and this is where I like to keep running TBR lists. I also have a database full of every single book that I have on my shelf. I love being able to have all of my books in a database like this because they're really easy to filter through. One of my favorite ways to use this is to filter through all of my read and unread books. So I have this column here, which is a checklist where I can just check off whether or not I've read a book, and then I can add a filter where I can just select all of the unchecked books and it'll show me all of my unread physical TBR, which is very handy. Have I read any of these? Okay, well, I've read Anne of the Island. I have read The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I also love being able to filter my books by genre. So let's say oh, I did not spell that right. So I want to find all the contemporary books on my TBR, of which I do not have that many, but I can just find these super quickly. And I love being able to sort through my database like this. One thing I do want to do with you guys today is to change my yearly TBR because these are all of my 2025 TBR books. I would like to change these to my 2026 TBR. And I did add a checklist column for this in my library database so I can quickly filter through these and we can see what is on my 2026 TBR. It's not looking like a lot because I don't own a lot of these books physically. But if I did own a lot of these, I could use their little Notion agent over here, which is super handy. I can literally just ask it to make me a list of all of the 2026 TBR books. And actually, you know, I just found out something myself here. This not only pulled the books that are in my database, it actually pulled it from when I go to like my YouTube stuff page here, it ended up pulling it from this list here. So that's very cool. I did not know that it could do that. But I could just copy and paste this and put this in here, but I actually wanted to make me a checklist of these titles. And there she goes. Look at that. I mean, they are all in uppercase, which does not fit the aesthetic, as I said. I wonder if it'll just make the titles all lowercase for me. Wait. There we go. It's been fixed. Wow, you learn something new every day, don't you? So there we go. That's my 2026 TBR. A little sneak peek please still watch my 2026 TBR video. But Notion Agent is just super helpful. As you just saw, it can do things like that, but it can also create and edit pages, it can look through your databases, and it can just help you save time on those tedious tasks. Now we can move on to my series tracker, which is where I am tracking my series, as one may be able to assume. But here are just all of the series that I am actively reading and actively, well, some of these I'm not actively reading, but there are series that I want to start actively reading, and they're just things that I would like to prioritize. And this is actually a newer addition to my Notion, but I've loved using this. I also decided to give this one like a little bit of a fantasy theme, so I have like a little fantasy map situation here, and then a quote from The Lord of the Rings. I love putting quotes at the top of my Notion pages because who doesn't love a quote? Especially a J.R.R. Tolkien quote, how could you not? But my one tip, I must say, for making your pages look even more aesthetically pleasing is to go over to these 3 dots up here. Always change the font to serif, because like this is the default font. It's not bad, but like with the serif, so much better. And then also change your pages to full width. It just looks so much nicer. That is my professional opinion. But I just have another database that is full of all of these series. So I have like them marked as like yearly priority. I have a series status. And then my favorite thing on this list is my percentage complete bars. Something about it is just so satisfying to me, and I want to show you guys how you can make this because it's very easy. You're just gonna need 2 columns, one of them having like the number of books in the series, and then the other one being the number of books read in the series. And then you're gonna go over to add a property and put a formula in there. You're gonna go over here. I'm gonna rename this. I'm just gonna put percent. Do I know how to spell percent? Percent complete. Dude, that is not how you spell complete. Just exposing myself for not being able to spell. Then you're gonna go to edit property, edit formula, and then you have all of the properties from this specific database over here. So we're gonna put books read divided by number, where'd it go? Where is it? Number of books in series. And then we're just gonna multiply it by 100 so it outputs a nice percentage. And it should just calculate them like that. I mean, it looks a little bit ugly with all those repeating decimals, but you can also edit the property a little bit more. So I'm gonna change it to a bar because I like the bar. You can also put it in little rings, which is kind of fun. I like that too. Maybe I'll do the rings on this one since I have the bars on the other one. You can see what it looks like. Wait, come back. Okay. Ooh, decimal places. 1. Love a single decimal place. Ta-da! Now you can see what percentage through a series you are. I love being able to have that visual representation of how far into these series I am, so I am very excited that that's so easy to do. I looked up a video on it, figured out how to do it in like 2 seconds. It's super easy, so would recommend giving it a try. But I can do basically the same things with this one that I did with the other one, so I can sort these by genre. I think a lot of these are fantasy. One of my fantasy romance series that I'm in the middle of, Love's Academic and Saint of Steel. Good stuff right there. But I think that's everything that I want to show you guys on my Notion. I'm always very excited to talk about my Notion because I love spending time making it cute, putting it together, making it functional as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a tour. So as I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed getting to see a tour of my Notion. This has been a work in progress for many, many years, and I will continue to update it and use it for many, many years to come. Customizing and adding to my Notion is one of my favorite ways to stay organized and feel like I have my life together. If you guys would like to check out Notion and start making your own page, I will leave a link to them down below. I'm so excited that I was able to work in Notion on this video because I love Notion so much, so I think you guys will too. But with that, we have reached the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed getting organized, getting my life together with me for the new year. I am very excited for 2026. I'm very excited for all of the reading that I'm gonna do in 2026, so I hope you guys, as I've said, enjoyed this video. I would love to know if you guys have done anything to reset for the new year. Have you done any book unhauling, any organizing, any book acquiring? I'd love to know about some acquisitions as well. I certainly have been buying a couple of books towards the end of the year here because I would like to go on a book buying ban in January, so kind of getting like prepped for that. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all having an amazing end to your 2025. I can't believe 2025 is almost over. But I will see you guys next year. Bye!